What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister Darla.
What's up?
My brother Derek.
What's up, everybody?
Who's eating something, and my friend Dan.
What's going on? Oh, my bad. I tried to make up for the delay.
No,
that
was good.
It didn't happen that time.
That was good, though.
Perfect. That was perfect.
Okay, cool.
All right. So this week on 3D Rivals, we're going to be talking about Ant-Man as we continue our rewatch of the MCU, going all the way up into Far From Home. And since Black Widow hasn't come out yet, that's sadness, but true. But at first, before we get into Ant-Man, we always get into the news. So let me bring up our first topic. We're going to talk about Spider-Man, since we mentioned Far From Home. The next movie after the fact seems to have a lot going on. There's a rumor going around that Tom Hardy is going to be joining the cast as Venom. And it also has been confirmed that Doctor Strange is a part of the movie.
So,
They can see my face.
like, they're doing too much, right?
Yeah, I feel like they're doing too much right now.
I mean, that's a lot.
Because you brought back Electro. There's the rumor about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. Doctor Strange is in a movie. Venom's going to be in the movie, apparently, since they're doing that. I don't know. But since they got Doctor Strange, I think this kind of confirms the Spider-Verse thing.
Okay.
Internet nerds has said that they're gonna do the storyline one day at a time, one night ago, whatever. But it takes place after Civil War, and Spider-Man reveals his secret identity, and then a lot of his people, his family and stuff. I think Aunt May dies or whatever, and so then he literally makes a deal with the devil to bring Aunt May back. So they're saying that Doctor Strange will replace that role, and then that is how he gets his secret identity back.
Would Doctor Strange bring someone back? I feel like that's something he would.
I don't know, but he has the time stone. He can reverse time.
He doesn't have the time stone. Time stone's gone.
They put it back where?
Oh,
back to the space lady.
According to the ancient one, that he has to keep guarding the time.
No, they don't. Thanos destroyed all the stones. The time stone in their timeline is gone.
And in Peter's timeline?
Yeah. Because they gave it back to the ancient one, meaning it all goes all the way back up until Thanos got him again, and then he destroyed it.
That's not how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanos destroyed all the stones. There's no stones.
There's no stones. So when Captain America went back in time and put all the stones back, you're saying there's still no stones in the future?
Yeah, they didn't change the fact that Thanos destroyed them. He just put them back in the past.
Okay, well, the internet nerds were wrong, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, he could fulfill that role to help bring back Aunt May. I don't feel like that fits the character, to be honest.
But they mentioned the time stone, but if you're saying he doesn't have the time stone anymore.
No. I think they specifically got rid of all the stones so they couldn't be, used as an overpowered piece of tech anymore. So, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. But I feel like because Doctor Strange's next movie is the multiverse, right? So I feel like this has something to do with multiple universes, which would be Spider-Verse. Or some form of it.
I feel like I would rather that they didn't. But apparently this is exactly what they're doing.
I would rather they didn't either. I think you should do 3 solid movies of Spider-Man and then start doing branch stories. That's what I feel like. And every third movie of Spider-Man, or I guess it was the second one with the Amazing Spider-Man, it seems like they always try to pack so much in it. Like, the first 2 Spider-Man movies were good because even though they had Tony Stark and Happy and Nick Fury in it, it was a very standalone story that felt like a Spider-Man story. This one, you got, and I know these are Spider-Man people, but you got all this stuff in it. You got, we got Electro. We got Venom. We got Doctor Strange in here and now. We're going to do Spider-Verse. I don't think it's the time to do Spider-Verse. Honestly, I don't. There's other stories. What happened to the Craven and Hunter story? That seemed like it would have been good.
Yeah. Maximum Carnage.
That's the Venom movie. Why would you do you haven't introduced Venom? Why would you do Maximum Carnage?
Well,
Carnage.
Everybody knows about Venom already.
Yeah.
Venom
But we
hasn't.
do have Venom.
Yeah, he hasn't been introduced in the Spider-Man movies.
Yeah, but how much introduction do you got to do with Venom, though?
I don't
Crazy.
know. I wouldn't do Maximum Carnage
This
either.
movie is making no sense. That's what it's boiled down to. This movie makes no sense.
Sounds like a Sony movie.
Sounds like a Sony movie. I don't know. Like, why do they always have to like jump to stuff? I mean, they were coming out with, and I could be wrong. Maybe I'll be completely wrong. You guys can play this back for me when Spider-Man 3 makes $2 billion at the box office or whatever. But I feel like Sony always does this. Like, I mean, you already have Spider-Man, which is good. Venom did well. People are still willing to go see a second Venom, even though it had issues with the movie. People still want to see a sequel to that movie, right? So you got that. Morbius was coming out. You were setting things up well. I feel like they were doing well, trying to set up their little universe or whatever. And now you're like, with this Spider-Man movie, we're just gonna throw all this stuff at the wall. Why? Like, why?
Down, but it's what they always do. It's like they always rush into like we need to have a universe. No, you don't. Just make a movie.
Yeah, and then do something simple, like spin off into a Miles Morales or a Silk or something like that. Do something simple rather than complicated stuff. You wait for the complicated stuff. Like, if Endgame came out after the first Captain America, that's way too complicated for what, at that point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Agreed.
So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully this is good. We know Marvel still has a hand in it. This movie is part of the MCU, so that's how they get access to Doctor Strange. Maybe they can do it tastefully. We'll see. Some more news. You got it. Okay. MODOK. It's an animated series coming out for Marvel on Hulu, right?
Yes.
Yes. Interesting enough, after that trailer came out, it's a stop motion series. I didn't expect that.
I thought that's an interesting choice. I thought it was gonna be like
Interesting.
yeah, like straight up animated, but they chose stop motion.
Yeah.
It's different. But I feel like there's some isn't Robot Chicken a stop motion?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like it's not unheard of.
No, it's not unheard of. People still use it. I think it would just make for an interesting thing. I mean, I might check out an episode or two of it and see what it's like.
It's weird. They had a trailer at the New York Comic Con, and it's like MODOK, but also his family. And the dude like has a wife and kids, but you know they're evil.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Yeah,
That sounds funny, actually.
and you know it's like he's like running AIM, and it was weird. But I was like, I'll check it out. I give shows a chance. I'll check it out.
It's like a comedy series, then.
Yes.
Oh, it's probably funny. It's probably gonna be funny. I would say. Next little bit of news that I had. It's not like real big news. Luke Hemsworth has said that he would be open to play Wolverine in the MCU. If you didn't know that,
I'm gonna say no.
No,
No.
I think he can fit.
Give me who's Luke Hemsworth again?
Luke
Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth's brother.
Yeah, his older brother, not the one that was in Hunger Games.
Okay.
This guy played in Westworld, I think.
I don't know.
I am not familiar with this individual.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, he's the least famous Hemsworth. Yeah, so no, it's not Liam Hemsworth, if that's what you were thinking of, Darla.
No, I'm still gonna say no. I just looked it up. I was thinking of Liam. You're
Okay.
right, but I'm looking at it now. I'm still gonna say no.
Okay. I mean, I'm still on the side of not doing a Logan Wolverine in the MCU and just skipping to X-23. I feel like we should do that, considering we had such a good Wolverine in the other X-Men movies.
I would agree with you, but I doubt they'll do that since Wolverine is so famous and so popular.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
you
I
gotta
feel
have
like there would
Wolverine,
be
man.
a lot of complaints of having X-23 and a Logan.
You could do it.
why? Why not? Like you could do it.
I mean, yes,
We
you could.
have had enough of Wolverine. It's not like Wolverine was done horribly in all of these movies. While not all the movies were good, one thing we could say, Wolverine was good in these movies.
All
So
the time.
like it's not like we're in a big dire need. It's not like the Fantastic Four where every single movie they showed up in it was horrible. like
Trash.
they need a reboot. Wolverine doesn't. I mean, and then you had that send off with Logan and everything. I think it's fine. You just leave him alone for a while.
I would agree. I would rather see X-23. I'm like, we don't need. I'm like Darren said, like we already had the perfect Wolverine. Because one thing, if the guy doesn't live up, it's like it's hard to replace someone great.
Yeah.
If he doesn't live up to it, we'll always be comparing like Hugh Jackman did it better. Like we're better off just not having it.
Yeah. I mean, until like 10, 15 years.
I mean,
down
that's
the road or
like
something.
saying no longer having Batman movies because Michael Keaton did it so good.
No,
No.
it's not the same.
Plus, have we had a solid Batman?
We haven't.
We haven't had a solid Batman.
I could think about it. We're still comparing people to the animated series.
Yeah.
That's how you know we haven't had a solid Batman. Because we're still
Right.
talking about a cartoon.
People making Batman movies. That's my point.
Yeah, because the thing, the Christopher Nolan movies were good movies, great, excellent movies, right? But was that our solid Batman?
Nope.
I don't know. The realism of the series, while enjoyed, doesn't make it makes it deviate from the actual Batman and stuff. It's not. We have a solid Wolverine and a solid Professor X. Now I feel like they will reuse Professor X just because it's synonymous with X-Men.
Kind of have to.
But Wolverine, you don't have to use him. He wasn't even originally a part of the X-Men.
You don't have to.
All right. I mean, and angry fans, you're always going to get angry fans. Forget them. They're going to go see the movie anyway. Let them be angry.
Also true.
Yeah, they gotta go see the movie so that way they know exactly what to be angry about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's going to be people who don't know the comics that's going to complain that Wolverine was replaced by a female or whatever, blah, 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 blah. Whatever, just ignore it. But, next bit of news. Jurassic World Dominion had to pause its production for 2 weeks because of some positive COVID tests. So, this is going around the movies, it seems.
Of course.
So, movies every once in a while are going to have to delay a little bit. So Jurassic World is the next one. They didn't give any names, so it doesn't seem like it's any of the actors or anything like that. But
I
So
didn't
the
realize
unimportant people, you saying?
that's exactly what he's saying.
what?
Yep. The unimportant people. Somebody unimportant had it. So.
No, because the crew is still important. You can't make a movie without the crew.
But the
You're
crew is replaceable.
That's cold.
Well,
We do not.
They are though. Like, oh man, our cameraman is sick. What are we gonna do? Well, probably hire another cameraman.
I think we should insert a disclaimer: 3D rivals do not necessarily agree or disagree with the comments of Dan.
yeah. Dan's comments does not necessarily reflect the views of 3D Rival. No.
The views and opinions of. Hey man, I'm just saying it's business, yo. It's just.
I mean, from a business standpoint, that's probably how they view them. It's wrong, but it is probably how they view them. But anyway, they're halting production. They didn't just get new people. They're halting to make sure nothing goes around, which is good.
Good. I didn't realize they had started production on that again.
Yeah, I didn't see when they picked it back up. Robert Downey Jr. is saying that he would like to start a mystery verse off of the Sherlock Holmes movie. He's making a third one now, we all know. And he's saying not in a way to copy Marvel, but he's like, hey, there's no set of mystery movies out there. And he thinks that there should be. I'm kind of down for that. It's Robert Downey Jr. He does well in those movies. I think it'd be cool.
else is on the scale of Sherlock Holmes though? So if it's like a mystery verse, then we need another detective person who's out there. Agatha Christie guy. What's his name from Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah, I don't remember his name though. Didn't they emulate him in Knives Out?
Probably, yeah. I don't know another mystery detective that could fall into that universe.
Or do you just spin off with some other characters, like make a Scotland Yard
random new characters?
Or you could just go with a random new character.
Where they go with that?
Or it's just they're all Sherlock Holmes movies.
Out there?
Or just
all Sherlock Holmes.
Or could we have like all the Sherlock Holmes in one movie? Like, can we get Benedict Cumberbatch in?
Sherlock Holmes deals in like kind of like it's unrealistic, but it's supposed to be in a realistic world. How do you get all the Sherlock Holmes?
I don't know. I just want to see it.
It's like a portal opens up.
You get Lucy Liu from Elementary.
Oh, Lord.
Oh no, we don't need that one.
God, that's
You can just
horrible.
forget that exists.
This sounds like some. Darla, this sounds like some fan fiction you're writing. She's like, and a portal opened up behind. And Sherlock.
I'm just saying there are two good versions of Sherlock. I mean, if you want a mystery verse, just who's the better Sherlock? I don't know. I watched that movie.
Ooh, Sherlock versus Sherlock?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh, don't like the idea.
Whatever. You don't know.
I have to say, for the BBC series, the Moriarty in that was so good. I was like,
The what series?
The BBC Sherlock Holmes series?
Yeah, the
Have you
British
not seen it?
Broadcasting Company. Isn't that what it stands for? I think that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is what it stands for.
So, yeah, I think the Moriarty in that is really good to me. I think he did really good. It was compelling.
Yes.
Agree with you. I don't know what those two are laughing about, but I think the Moriarty in that series was great.
Yeah. So that's pretty good. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the next bit of news over.
Yeah, let's move on.
These two
Let's
guys.
move on.
So Tenet, we've been talking about Tenet. Oh boy.
Keep going. Tenet. What?
Tenet. We've been talking about it for a few weeks. How long has it been now? It's been a month or something since Tenet came
I
out.
think so.
I want to say about a month and a half.
So total domestically, it has brought in $45 million.
Wow.
Worldwide, $300 million. So this movie's gonna lose some money.
Unless they do that video on demand. I've been saying it.
Yep.
It should have.
Warner Brothers took a gamble, and I feel like they shouldn't have. They figured people were going to see the movie because it was Tenet, and it's turning out they did not. $45 million domestically is abysmal.
Yeah, I think they underestimated people's willingness to go to the movie theaters.
Yeah, they should have held out. Either hold on to the movie like Marvel's doing Black Widow, or do the video on demand. I don't know. I feel like, do we know how much Mulan has made so far, or no?
No, Disney don't release those numbers.
That's the only problem. That's the only problem with the video on demand. There's no way for us to know if a movie is a bomb or not.
Because they're just so. I mean, the initial reports is that it did well, like really good, based off of the increase in Disney Plus downloads.
Yeah.
And also, I think they said 9 million households had downloaded it or something like that.
Yeah.
Or no, it was, 23% of U.S. households.
23% of U.S. So, of U.S. households that have the service, or just U.S. households, period?
Well, you gotta have the Disney Plus service to watch it. How else are you watching it?
Yeah, you ain't gonna watch it without it.
Never mind. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Like, would video on demand make Tenet the money it needs to make?
I think they can get another solid $100 million out of it for sure.
Yeah, I feel like
because one of the first movies that was released on video on demand, Invisible Man, didn't that dude use it?
Yeah, that did well. The
I did good.
Trolls movie did well. Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah,
I don't know what they're doing. Put Tenet out there.
Like a movie like Tenet, since it appeals to just about like Trolls is a kids family movie, so only families are watching that. Invisible Man is a horror movie, so only people into that is watching. I feel like a lot more people would be willing to pay for Tenet. I would be.
Yeah. If they put it on demand, I would have gotten it. But they're gonna put it on HBO Max. I'm not getting HBO Max.
They got a 7-day free trial. I got like 5 email addresses.
I'm just keep on signing up for that 7-day free trial.
Wow.
I need to be like you, darling. I need to just starting emails and just get these free trials.
You gotta work the system.
VPN, change your IP address. So
that too.
What you gotta do is change the number.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Get a VPN.
Like say 1 at gmail.com. Say 2 at say 3 at gmail.com. And they all different. That's all you gotta do. That's it.
50 email addresses. You don't have to use them for anything. Just drop it after you use one.
Yeah. Close later.
Yeah, just get rid of it after that. You ain't gotta hold on to them.
Like 7-day free trial. Sorry, I don't want this anymore. All right. So, but yeah, if they released Tenet on something, I definitely would have gotten it. I don't know. I do feel like video on demand would have gotten them more than the 300 million that they have now, but it wouldn't be $1 billion.
I mean, look, you're not gonna get $1 billion doing it this way, but you're not getting $1 billion now. And I feel like even now, it's not too late for them to release it.
Yeah, just release it early. Well, they probably have a contract with the theaters now.
Oh well, your fault.
Yeah, they should have did a 7-week thing.
I know you guys don't have cable, but yeah, they still promoting it with commercials to get people to go out and watch it.
No one wants to do that.
Doing it. I think I saw a thing. It's going to be released on Blu-ray in December, so I'll watch it then. That's in 2 months. That's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll do it.
So I mean, they'll make their money off of Blu-ray sales. That's for sure.
Well, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wait. There's no reason for all of us to buy this Blu-ray, right? We just buy one
person. Well, who's going to actually buy a Blu-ray? You get a digital copy.
Right. I'm like, we just do like a movies anywhere, right? And share it.
Yeah, I don't have a Bluray player.
We can share it.
Definitely not gonna buy one.
Oh, that's right.
We all don't need to spend $24.99. That's what I'm saying.
No. Okay. This is a 3D Rivals expense. All right, and that was all I had for the news.
Wait, are we not going to talk about Animaniacs?
No, I said that was all I had.
That was all that he had.
Okay.
That was all that he had.
My bad. Okay.
Darla, you have some news?
Yes. All right. So, coming November 20th on the Hulu, Animaniacs is coming back. And for anyone who's a millennial, know all about that Animaniacs, which was the greatest. And also Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and the Brain. Pinky and the Brain. I'm going to stop singing because it's copyrighted. All right, so...
Good catch, man.
Tonight, Brain. The same thing we do every day, Pinky.
Try to take over the world.
Attempt to take over the world.
Yeah, so
that should be pretty dope, man. I just that cartoon was so great. And it is with Steven Spielberg again, so I have high hopes for it.
Yeah, I have high hopes. If it was somebody else doing it, I would be like, nah.
Yeah. Although, what's interesting, that this is a Warner Brother property, but it's premiering on the Hulu and not on Warner Brothers service.
Warner Brothers does have a stake in Hulu.
Do they?
Yeah.
I thought Disney had it out right now.
No, they don't have 100%. I don't think they can.
Oh, because, monopolies and all of that?
Yeah, even though there are monopolies. But yeah, monopoly antitrust laws.
Okay. All right. That's what I was wondering when they showed the trailer during New York Comic Con. But I'm excited for it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're not going to put Animaniacs on HBO. like, like
Well, weird since everyone has their own service now, and it was just like this giant WB, and I'm like, oh yeah, it is a Warner Brother property.
yeah,
But then it was like on Hulu.
they
And I was
lived
like,
in a
okay.
Warner Tower.
Yeah. Especially since they parodied it with Jurassic Park too in the trailer. I was like, Hulu don't own none of this stuff, but it's okay.
Yeah, Warner can do that. So it's a Hulu original then?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I feel that. Yeah, if they put it on HBO, that'll be a different type of Animaniacs.
Yeah.
live action Animaniacs show.
Oh.
That is
We don't
rated.
Wow.
We do not need to do that.
Yeah, but no, Animaniacs is a classic. Just everything in it, like Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. Jack jumped over a candlestick and burned his bottom. Before the show, we were talking about Chicken Boo.
You're not a man, you a chicken boo.
It's Chicken
The
Man.
obviousness of it being a chicken, man.
Well,
Come on.
chicken.
Who's this disguise for? Besides the fact that he don't speak, he don't talk. You know what I'm saying? Every noise he makes is something like that. Like how do you just brush past that?
Yeah, that was funny. So that's exciting.
Yeah,
I definitely
good
want
idea, bad idea. Y'all remember that?
Oh, good idea, bad
I
idea.
remember the episode of Good Idea, Bad Idea.
Whistle while you work.
Bad idea. Whistle while you eat.
So if you haven't seen Animaniacs, is it still on Netflix?
I don't know. It might be on Hulu now, right?
I thought it was on Hulu. It was on Hulu once upon a time.
Okay, it was on Netflix. I think earlier this year or last year.
It might have been. I vaguely remember that. So yeah, it might. I don't think I've seen it recently though.
That's when I realized it had way more adult jokes in it than I knew when I was a kid.
Like tons of them.
Just like every joke. I was like, what? I was watching this as a child.
Yeah, like my dad used to catch him. He used to like. He was about to make us stop watching it because all the jokes that we didn't get, but he got. He was like, "What is this show?"
I think our dad just laughed at it.
He probably did. He had zero cares.
All right. Well, is that all the news, guys?
Yes.
Alrighty. First,
Yes.
I'll let the audience know if you want to start a professional podcast, much like we have, then you can with Buzzsprouts. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. That's what we did, and your show can be online and listed in all the major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of you finishing your recording. So if you are looking to start a podcast, check out Buzzsprout. We have an affiliate link in our description below, and you can sign up yourself. That being said, let's talk Ant-Man. Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Actually, I mean, I do like the Ant-Man movie. I remember when they said they were coming out with Ant-Man, and I'm like, oh, Ant-Man? Is this going to work as a movie?
Definitely.
Yeah,
I
so...
give Marvel credit for turning something so stupid into a good movie. I think even Paul Rudd's son was like, well, that's dumb. Which is the same thing I said when I heard it was coming out. Like, well, this is stupid. And even though Ant-Man is still a stupid superhero, they managed to make it into a good movie.
Yeah, they did definitely turn it into something that is like a really decent movie. And I don't know. I just remember Ant-Man from that horrible Avengers cartoon we had as a child. And I was like, no, Ant-Man sucks.
Also in the, what was the name of that cartoon that came out for the Avengers? Earth Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah, well, that one was good. That one was good.
But Ant-Man was the worst, and I hated him.
I think he's supposed to be the worst. Like, Hank Pym is not good.
Yeah, I got that in my movie notes. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know what? In my movie notes, I, too, have that Hank Pym is a huge D-bag.
Yep.
Huge.
What he said.
Oh, wow.
Okay. He is. He is. It's horrible. But before we get into all that, usually we ask Derek what the story of the movie was.
So basically, in short, the movie is about how Scott Lang, being a burglar, was tricked by Dr. Prim to get the suit. And basically, I feel like he was tricked into helping Dr. Pym and pulling off a heist to, quote unquote, save the world.
Okay.
Yep. Fair enough. And this is where I'm going to get into not what I disliked about the movie, but why Hank Pym is a huge...
Because he basically used Scott Lang to do all his work for him.
Yeah, well, not only that. Okay, like, we start the movie off, man. Scott Lang, he's just getting out of prison, and he's trying to, like, do right. Now, his ex-wife in this particular movie, in Ant-Man 2, I think she's fine, but his ex-wife, I also think, was being a little bit extra. But, like, he's just trying to work so he can see his daughter and pay child support, and he hasn't been able to do it. And then, like, Hank Pym is getting him fired from his job so that he will go back to a life of crime. Like, taking away all the opportunity, not that he had a lot because he's an ex-con, taking away all his opportunities just so he will go back to crime, which I'm like, that's an ignorant move.
It is. And, like, were there no other criminals you could use this if you just had to have somebody to rob this place?
Right.
Like, was there no one else? And I still think with Scott Lang said was like, the ants could have did it. Like, he didn't do anything special that the ants couldn't have done.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably could have had the ants do it. Like, to get into the vault, like, I feel like the ants could have done all of that, right?
Especially since I'm questioning some things that they were doing anyways. This didn't make any sense.
You're going to talk about that in your nitpicks?
Well, yeah. I'll save it.
Okay. It is a movie. I have to suspend some belief about what the ants do. But keep in mind, ants are actually pretty awesome. They can do a lot of things. So,
things. I'm not, complaining about, hey, he can control ants or anything. If Aquaman can talk to fish, then...
I still stand by this notion that talking and controlling ants is a better power than fish.
Fish are kind of limited to one location.
Yeah, I feel like...
You got
to convince people to go out into the water, but you can send ants anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, if I'm in Nevada, I'm kind of like, Lake Mead is here.
Ants can get into places like you think you sealed up, and they can still get in.
True indeed.
As they do.
Yeah.
Definitely along with spiders. It's annoying.
Spiders, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, how do you always get in my house? Get out.
Where spiders watches you in the shower. I'm convinced of that now.
What?
How many spiders do you see in your shower?
Yeah, like I rarely see a spider in the shower. I think I've seen one in the 5 years I've been in my house. I've seen a spider in the shower once.
Only one.
I can't get rid of them.
It wasn't in the shower. It was on my towel.
Ooh.
I did literally fall out, trying not to touch the spider.
No, I was about to take a shower, and then it was in the tub, and I was like, nope. No. Yeah, so, but yeah, I don't know why spiders just chilling in your shower every day, Derek. What that is. Do you break their webs?
You might want to do some bleach therapy on that shower.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, so we'll get into it more. But yeah, Hank Pym in this, that was kind of messed up. My one last thing, complaining about characters, not actors in this movie, his ex-wife. Like, dude shows up trying to be with his daughter or whatnot. He's not like a deadbeat dad or whatever. And like, you haven't paid child support, blah, 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 knowing that he wasn't able to get a job. Not that he was lazy or whatever, but he hasn't been able to get a job. And you're talking about he hasn't paid child support.
She irked me. She's like, you need to pay child support. And I'm like, but you got the money though. Like, you getting ready to marry this dude with a good job. You obviously have a job.
Right.
Right?
You make more money than he does.
Now they
Because
are
he's
in
not
California.
working.
California got different rules, so I think he would still be required to pay. Unlike in this state, he wouldn't be. But I'm like, you need to pay child support. What are you about to give you though? It's not like he doesn't want to be around.
And then she's like, oh, and then we can talk about visitation. What?
I was saying to myself, like, dude, get a lawyer. Like, she can't do this to you.
Like, come on. Like, pay child support. Be the hero she wants you to be. Dude is trying. Like, I
just got out of jail.
Yeah. I just dislike the fact that when it's like, it's somebody that is actually trying, and then y'all are actively working to go against what he's trying to do. He's not somebody that's not trying to do anything, trying to dodge child support and all that. He's trying, and he hasn't been able to, and you're still getting down on him. I really dislike that part of the movie.
I agree.
Me to no end. I was just like, because it was ridiculous. I'm like, this dude is doing everything he can. And you still like, why are you at this birthday party?
Yeah.
He like, why didn't you invite me though? So it was kind of dirty.
And then think about your kid too. Like, I mean, I would think like, yeah, well, they still would need to spend time with the other parents, you know, rather
that's
than...
when it gets personal, man. That's a personal thing. Like her relationship and his relationship should not be an issue when it comes to, you know, him and his daughter. Like, let them have that relationship. Y'all got y'all differences. Keep that away from the kids, because the kids should never have to, like, you know, see that or deal with that.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So those are my thoughts. But other than that, I thought this was a really good movie. Actually, I mean, they should leave that in the movie because it obviously draws feelings from people. So it's really good. But yeah, I overall thought this was a pretty good movie. I always enjoy watching it.
Yeah, I enjoy watching it too.
Yeah, my only issue with it, which is more of a Marvel thing than anything else, is weak villain. Like, I mean, I timed it. There was 30 minutes left in the movie before we saw the Yellow Jacket.
And the villain,
left in the movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it took us 30 minutes to get to the fight, which is not, I get as an origin story, and I was fine with the first 3/4 of the movie. But at the same time, it would have been nice to have a better villain.
Also, it's kind of a rehash of Iron Man, not story-wise particular, but if you follow the villain and everything and what happens in the final fight and whatever, it's kind of Iron Man again, right?
It is exactly Iron Man again.
Copying his technology, making their own suit, and, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, weak villain, he's evil for no reason. Like, I get that he's kind of off the wall or whatever, but his whole thing was Hank Pym didn't love me, so I'm mad, I guess.
Right? Like, dude, don't you got a dad at home? Calm your nerves. Like, I just not even understand this. Like, but you were never proud of me or whatever. Like, dude, you're not his kid. He don't care about you. So, yeah, that was kind of stupid.
Fool, I don't need to be proud of you. I'm saying, come in, do your job, go home. That's it. You know what I'm saying? We co-workers. That's it.
All right.
Yeah. So the villain was very, very, very weak in this. But I think this...
wouldn't have been better if it was the villain, the ex-Shield guy was the main villain. I feel like that would have been better.
That would have been better because you set it up in the beginning of the movie with Hank Pym going off. That would have been way better. Like, he finally figured out how to get his technology and stuff.
Yeah, the guy, he broke his nose, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Maybe Darla should be a writer.
I've been saying it.
Mm-hmm. Write a screenplay, man. Maybe we make it into a movie.
Yeah, write something.
Okay.
Write something.
Yeah. Let's do it.
See what we got. Let's see what we're working with.
Actually, I did find notes from this old story I wrote as a kid.
Oh my
I found
God.
my little notebook for it.
Oh no.
I was like, oh my gosh.
Bring that back up then.
I'm about to transfer this to digital format.
Let's write a book. 3D Rivals, first book being written by Dan, Darla, and Darren. I'm assuming Derek doesn't want to contribute to the book.
I contribute. I'm pretty good at character development.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I can draw some.
Wow, why does that not sound convincing, man?
I don't know. I haven't read any stories by you, so I don't know.
I have. I've read stories by Derek.
They were one-page stories. We don't want to read about the character development.
Yeah, one page stories. But I mean, if you expound on those stories, no.
This is an inside joke. Nobody's gonna get this.
I hate you.
Yep.
Oh God. Okay. All right, but I do agree with Darla that that would have been a better, that X-Shield guy, that would have been a better way of going with the villain. But is this one of the last weak villain movies? Like, because Phase 3 was pretty solid.
I think I can go with that.
Yeah.
Unless you go with Civil War with
Bucky?
Baron Zemo.
Dude.
But
Yeah.
when you really, when you look back at Civil War, he actually isn't that weak of a villain. Like, a lot of people, yeah.
Horrible. No. Because he wasn't needed.
He wasn't needed. I agree with that. You didn't need Zemo. But people were comparing it to Batman v Superman and Lex Luthor and how, like, the plan was kind of the same. But not actually. Zemo had, like, a lot more nuance in that. It made sense. Like, when you go back and watch it again, like, his plan throughout made sense. And we'll get to that when we get to Civil War, honestly. But which is the next movie.
Next movie.
Yeah. But okay. So we all agree, good movie, weak villain, good actors. Paul Rudd. Yeah, I guess he can play a superhero. That's good. Who would have thought?
The perfect choice. Like, I don't know anything about Scott Lang from the comics. I don't know how he is. But I like Paul Rudd because Paul Rudd is just kind of, even in like his old movies from like Clueless or whatever, he's like really charismatic and he kind of like eats up every scene that he's in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched Clueless, but I found out today that he was in there.
You've never seen Clueless?
No, why?
I don't know, because every kid in the 90s seen Clueless.
I think I saw it. Maybe.
Come on.
Did it have Donald Faison in it?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. Thank you, Dan. Yeah.
Nope.
Why are you looking like that, Darren?
No, nobody answered my question. Didn't it have Donald?
Oh, no. Yes, he did. Yes, he was in it.
Okay. All right, then I saw it. I don't really remember much from it. I don't remember Paul Rudd.
He was the brother.
I definitely don't remember Paul Rudd, but if I watch it again, I'm like, oh yeah, there he is.
Okay. All right. So acting is good all around, honestly. Well, except for again Darren Cross. I didn't buy him.
It was too over the top, right?
I don't like that dude as an actor. Like, I don't like him in movies.
Yeah.
He's just extra. I'm like, you can dial it down a notch.
A little bit. Yeah.
Is he too comic? I think he's too comic.
Is that what it was?
Too comic booky?
It was
yeah, he's too comic. I'm like overdone. He's like just forcing it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, but whatever.
Okay.
He got paid for it. So go ahead.
Was this the first Marvel movie where they used the de-aging technology?
Yes.
They de-aged what's his face at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah. I think it is.
Okay. All right. It's still, like, looking back at it, it's still a pretty good job. In this movie, it's like something that's a little bit off that you can tell looking at it, like your mind says something's wrong there, but still, like, it looks pretty good.
I think the other guy looked it better than Michael Douglas' character.
Yeah. What other guy? Oh, did they de-age them both?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, he definitely looked better than Michael Douglas did.
Yeah. Which I don't know why. It's because Douglas had to do more moving.
I was about to say, because I don't know, Douglas is kind of old though.
Well, you know what it is? It's the mouth that always throws it off. The mouth movement.
But it was weird because Peggy Atwell, is that her name? She looked pretty good as an aged up.
Well, aging up is easier than aging down.
Oh, true.
Haley Atwell.
You mixed her fake name with her real name.
I was like, I knew something was wrong, and I was like, something's not right about this name. Sorry. Yeah, no. So actually, it took me a minute to realize who she was.
Good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she keeps showing up in these movies.
I
Good
know
for
they're
her.
not doing her justice. She needs more.
I know. Well, we're getting the oh well, no, that's just one What If episode where she's Captain America, which I'm actually excited to see. What happened? That's a cartoon. We can't get that. When are we getting that?
Man, and wasn't that supposed to be one of the first things we got?
Like, you mean to tell me animators can't work from home?
You really can't. Or you can
man,
be
they gotta draw together. They gotta draw in groups.
Man,
next to each other.
you do it and you send it in the
You
cloud.
can do the voice acting from home.
Yep. Well, they got to have a good studio for that. But they'll build them one in their home. Come on.
You don't have to be next to the other animator. You can go into work.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, voice actors can just go in. You don't have to be near people.
Yeah,
You'll be in the booth.
yeah. You got the windows separating you anyway.
Yeah, so I don't understand why we don't have this. I think it's another lie we've been told by Disney.
Disney. The Disney overlords.
They slowly taking over the world.
They're just going to buy America. And then
Yeah, like Amazon.
They're gonna buy a plane.
Amazon's gonna buy America.
Yep.
Oh, no. I would honestly rather have Disney than Jeff Bezos.
Would you though?
Yeah. Kind of. I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Do
no,
I trust
man.
Disney? No. But I don't know. Jeff Bezos. I don't know.
Either way, we're
Yeah. So, all right. What about what's her name? Evangeline Lilly.
I thought she was great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did too. The wig. No, that's a no. That wig was bad on
I
her.
was a wig or just a bad haircut. Either way, I didn't like it.
It had to be a wig. I don't think that
that was done purposely though.
was
Who
it.
had a purposely bad haircut? What's the point?
Because I know Ant-Man and the Wasp is just a ponytail, but I feel like it fits her so much better than the little. What did they give her? The bangs?
Bangs?
It's not a
Bob.
The bob.
What's
Yeah,
up?
bob.
Bob?
Yeah, I think it's a bob.
Bob that looks like a Robert.
What? Evangeline Lilly doesn't look like a Robert. What's wrong with you?
Bob looks like a
No,
Robert.
her hair.
And the haircut, he's saying the haircut is a Bob, looks more like a Robert. I like that though.
God. But the she's excellent in the role. I do like her as the Wasp. And I'm excited to see her more in more movies. Actually, I think she should get her own movie rather than just be Ant-Man and the Wasp. Like, have her be in her own movie.
The Wasp.
Oh,
Uh,
stupid
Ant-Man.
superhero.
Yeah, well, she's just as dumb as Ant-Man.
No, she's dumber because watching. I keep forgetting the name of this cartoon.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Earth Midas.
Yeah. She's dumb. Like her little boat things don't even hurt people.
It never does. The little
So what's
stingers
the
she have.
point? Yeah, her little energy stings. It does nothing.
Yeah, but this is...
She's distracting though. She's very distracting.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, you get little hit by the boats, and you're like, what is that? Oh, man, what? Somebody's
Like, hey, what
pitching
was
me.
that? Hey, come on.
Yeah.
Like, how many times are you doing something and like a fly or mosquito just runs into your face and you're automatically distracted?
Yeah, see, yeah. Then
It's a
they
minor
stop you.
inconvenience, but it does
That really
distract.
shows on how horrible this character is.
In the MCU.
You're not making this better.
No, it's not better at all.
In the MCU, she's
It's
pretty
true,
good.
though.
But
I mean-
okay.
A character, but like I don't want to see no solo Wasp movie.
All right,
I'm about to
fine.
pass on that.
Yeah, you're on your own on that one, Darren.
Yeah.
Ant-Man can be in there. It could be like Ant-Man and the Wasp. And the next
Y'all
movie is the Wasp.
saying that, but Ant-Man
Wasp.
2 is basically a Wasp movie.
Yeah.
Was it that great of a movie though?
It was
No.
Okay.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I wouldn't give it as much hate as everybody else gave it, but it was all right. But all right, So
it was as good as this one.
I think it's a little not as good as this one. It's
It's
close,
not
but
as
not as
good.
good as this one.
Nope,
Yeah.
not at all.
But Darla, you have some stuff for us.
Yep. Okay, let's start with the casting. So obviously Michael Douglas plays Hank Pym. One of the reasons he said that he did the role so his kids can have a movie. So he can have a movie that his kids can watch, which if anyone knows anything about Michael Douglas, 90% of his movies are rated R and they deserve their rated R rating.
Mm-hmm.
So this is why he decided to do it. But up for the role was Sean Bean, Pierce Brosnan, and Gary Oldman. I have to say no to all three of those.
Yeah.
Pierce Brosnan? Are you kidding me?
No to Pierce Brosnan.
Yes. I gotta say no.
Big
Hold on.
Gary Oldman, he can do it, but I feel like the role would be different. Like he wouldn't do what Michael Douglas did in the role. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't like it. For the role of Hope, Jessica Chastain had to turn that role down.
I like her as the Wasp. Yeah, I like her as the Wasp.
And apparently Emma Stone turned it down also, but she'd have been too young. I don't like that.
Yeah. I want Emma Stone in MCU. Oh, maybe she should be Spider-Woman.
Spider?
Yeah.
Who's Spider-Woman?
The Gwen Stacy Spider-Woman.
Oh,
Was
Spider
she
Queen,
already
Ghost Spider.
She did.
Yeah.
She did play Gwen Stacy. So
She did play against Gwen Stacy.
She did play
Did she die?
Yeah, but we're out of that universe. That movie doesn't exist. Just forget about it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just forget about it. Edgar Wright, who was the original director of the movie, selected Paul Rudd because of his charisma, which makes him likable despite being a criminal.
Yeah.
That's true.
Really?
And Michael Pena, let's be real.
Yeah.
And T.I. and the other guy.
All right, since we're talking about Edgar Wright, as we get into our random movie facts. So, as everyone probably knows by now, he dropped out due to creative differences with Disney. And this time, I am on the side of the director.
Oh, okay.
Like, he has been working on this script since, like, '03 or whatever. Like, this was, like, his passion.
Yeah.
So, he was like... So, one of the things he said is that he wanted to make a Marvel movie, but he didn't think that Disney really wanted to make an Edgar Wright movie. And he also... That Marvel wanted to do a draft of a script without him, which is, like... Disney, if you're going to write your own script or whatever, then direct it yourself.
Right.
Like, you can't hire a guy and then be like, oh, but this is the movie you're going to do. Then why did you hire me? If you already have your own movie inside, then you know what? Kevin Feige can direct the movie then.
Yeah. True. We already said this about especially in movies in Phase 2. They definitely were doing too much, like, hand-holding with the directors and stuff. Need to kind of just let the directors do their thing and just give them some constraints. Like, give them guidelines like, hey, you can't go this far on it because we want to use this character here. But, like, let them make their movie. And then that's how we get good movies.
Yeah, so he was saying that all of a sudden you become a director for hire. You're less emotionally invested, and then you start to wonder why you're really there. Absolutely true. You're just a body now, doing things at their own bidding, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
And I mean, so he wanted the movie to be completely standalone with no references to the other MCU movies. I don't think that's a big deal because even though we had references, like, did we need it? No. Did it hurt the movie? No.
No, the references weren't that bad.
And Ant-Man could still have been in Civil War with no problem.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You could have had a post-credit scene where they heard about him because of the movie or whatever. And then that's...
I mean, think about it. Spider-Man showed up with no introduction.
Sure.
So it wasn't necessary, but I know Marvel likes to throw that in there. Also, in his version of the movie, Hope would have had a smaller role, which I think does her a disservice. So glad she got a bigger role now.
Yeah.
But however, a large part of his script was retained.
Okay. So most of the movie is his script?
There were some differences. I'm gonna bring out some of the differences now. Darren Cross was originally going to be something called the Nano Warrior instead of Yellow Jacket. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
But I haven't heard of none of the Ant-Man's villains, so.
I will look that up.
There was also going to be a car chase scene in it. That
Of
wasn't in
course,
it.
of course, it's Edgar Wright. So
Right. But this one I think was pretty good. So the original opening was going to be basically a mini adventure with the young Hank Pym infiltrating Panama to retrieve a microfilm and then confront a Panamanian general.
oh, that would
They
have been
actually,
excellent.
exactly. He said it was a homage to Goldfinger, which I love that movie.
Oh, that would have been cool.
So yeah, they actually shot it, but it got cut.
Wait, so
And
we
then
can we
Peyton
can
Reed,
there's
who-
this film is out there somewhere and we can somehow get a hold of
right?
it.
Like, why was this not part of the deleted scenes? Peyton Reed, who was the director that replaced him, admitted that it was really cool, but they felt like it was disconnected from the rest of the movie. Which basically, we got a prologue about it, but without actually seeing the actual scenes. I see the actual scenes.
Well, we got a cool car chase scene in the second movie.
True.
Yeah, but I want to see a secret spy mission in Panama.
Also true.
Yeah, so that was some of the things that got taken on. I do have to agree to him. Like, Marvel can't come in with their own story. Like, especially when you have a director who writes and directs his own movies. And then you're going to tell him what to do. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
So-
it's true, but I feel like they're better at it now than they were.
I think so. But I think, learning your lessons the hard way out there. Was this like the second or third director that was just like, I can't do this nonsense?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just let them do them. You know what I mean? As long as they're not destroying your property, let them tell the story.
True. On a side note, I do think the director's gonna have to, like, if you're gonna do a Marvel movie, you're gonna have to concede that you're gonna have to connect to other movies. Like, it's gonna happen in all Marvel movies. So just make that.
Yeah, but if that was the only thing, but you can't hire me and then show up with a script. Like, yo, I've been working on the script for a year.
I'm not arguing against Edgar Wright. I'm just saying from like this point on, like, come on,
Oh yeah. No, there got to be a mention of some other Avengers somewhere. But I'm being like, if that was my only concession, then fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. So when Ant-Man shows up at the Avengers facility, a lot of people wonder who Falcon was talking to. Anyone knows?
Nope.
Tell me.
Nope.
No,
It was
Tony would have
Natasha.
showed up. Oh, Natasha.
Yes. Peyton Reed confirmed it was Natasha.
Oh.
Yes. Oh, you know what I should have started off with? Since we had already talked about him? My bad. Hank Pym. One of the reasons he was not used because, as Darren said, Hank Pym is a jerk. And apparently he's a super jerk in the comics who apparently suffers from multiple personalities and abuses his girlfriend, Janet Van Dyke. And they decided he was not family friendly and did not want him in the movie.
Yes. Yep. He is an abuser. And the villain Yellow Jacket is Hank Pym, not whoever this person is.
We can talk about that. That was lower on the list, but yes, Yellow Jacket is actually a mentally unstable alter ego of Pym. Ridiculous.
Yeah. So no, he's horrible in the comics and in this movie. Just less horrible in this movie. Still
Yeah,
horrible.
just less horrible. Yeah. They designed the ants to look more and be more friendlier than they are in real life because ants are ugly for real and they're mean.
Very mean. Very mean. Yeah. I've seen some stuff about ants, dude. This is one thing, I don't know, I think it was National Geographic or something I was watching, and then the ants were like trying to get at a crab and they couldn't get through his shell, right? So they bit through its joints and then crawled into his shell from its joints. I was like, man, ants are vicious. Like, I'm like, jeez. And ate the crab from the inside out.
Oh. Thanks for sharing that.
Yep, I just thought you wanted to know.
I didn't even know that. But thank you. After seeing the Winter Soldier, Paul Rudd wanted the Falcon in the movie, so he's the one who suggested that they work him into the plot of the movie. And they did, which was fine.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it at all.
Was this the first time we seen Falcon fully suited in the new, like, red and black suit?
Yeah, the only other time was at the end of Ultron. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't in Ultron at all.
He wasn't in Ultron.
Doesn't
Yeah.
he show up at the end when they're all at the new facility?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
All right, so his new suit was in that.
Yeah. Okay, so we all know that Scott goes to work for Baskin Robbins, but Baskin Robbins was not their first choice. It was actually Chipotle. But Chipotle did not like being portrayed negatively. Like, really, Chipotle, like, we're going to stop eating your food because you fired Scott Lang. Calm your nerves.
The salmonella
stupid,
is
right?
what did that. Or
Especially at that time.
E. coli.
It was around that time too.
Wow. Zing.
But no, yeah, I like it that Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Right.
I didn't see it portrayed badly at all. Plus, that scene was really funny. With the guy coming up and it's like, all right, anything you got that's hot and fresh. It's like, it's Baskin Robbins. Yeah.
Dumb. All right. Hope is a villain in the comics. Did not know that. Apparently, she does not like her father, Hank.
Well,
Don't
that's
blame
not
her.
surprising, no?
Yeah, not surprising at all. But yeah, she's a villain. Didn't
I
know that.
heard he's a jerk.
Didn't know that either.
Okay. So, as we know in the end, they're fighting in Cassie's room and there's a Thomas the Tank Engine. There was a few rules for them in order to use this train. It could not be depicted doing anything evil. It had to remain neutral to all parties, and no one could be tied to the track that he was on.
All right.
Just to use Thomas Tank Engine.
Oh, so it hit Yellow Jacket, but I guess it didn't count because he wasn't tied down.
He wasn't tied down. He was on the track, but he wasn't tied down.
That is funny.
Wow.
Wow.
They probably felt like,
See,
man,
it's
they really
funny
screwed
though
on
when
that
he's like, and then the train just falls over when it hits.
Right. Like, you're like, oh man, that's gonna hurt. Nope, it's still a toy.
Are we going to talk about the physics inconsistencies in
Oh,
this?
it's in my nitpicks. We're gonna
Okay.
talk about it.
There's so much like it okay.
That's what y'all gonna nitpick.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's why it's a
really?
nitpick. I like the movie, but still the
It's
science
the
doesn't make sense
guy
at all.
That shrinks and like, come on.
Here's the problem.
Shrinks.
Dan, here's the problem. They explained how it works in the movie, right? But in their explanation, it doesn't make sense. What they should have done was just not explain it at all, and we would have been okay.
The rules change.
But none of it makes sense.
I mean, look,
It's their fault for explaining it.
Did they have to explain it to you in order for you to realize, oh, this doesn't make sense?
they
No.
didn't look. Don't look. If you're gonna make fake science, be consistent with your fake science.
Yeah, that's the thing. Exactly what Darla said.
But the world makes fake science. The world makes fake science all the time.
And they're
This
consistent.
one was just put in a movie.
So look, if you're gonna fake it, make sure it's consistent. Make sure your movie follows all the rules that you set up. In Endgame, besides Captain America at the end, they set a rule for the time travel and they stuck to it. And that's why we were all okay with their time travel, besides Captain America at the end. But yeah, you gotta follow the rules of your own universe.
Yep.
And they didn't.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, they changed rules
Now they're gonna
between
pay for it.
scenes. Like, come on now.
In the same scene, I'm gonna get to it. But go ahead, Darla. You got other stuff.
Okay. For the scene where the enlarged tank busts through PIM Technologies building, they actually built that. They built a wall and built a 3-ton tank and threw it through a building.
Okay.
That's cool. You know, I am partial to practical effects.
Practical effects is always good.
Yes. So Yellow Jacket is actually a combination of a few different Ant-Man villains. One is Yellow Jacket, who we said was the alter ego of Pym. Darren Cross is actually a villainous businessman and an enemy of Scott Lang. And also Eric O'Grady, whoever that is, who is an amoral and selfish person with Pym Tech, who is the fourth Ant-Man.
Yeah,
So
isn't
who's
he
Spider-Man?
the irredeemable? He's the irredeemable Ant-Man, right?
Dude,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yeah, Eric O'Grady is. Yeah, doesn't he work for Shield?
I don't know.
Yeah. I think he's dead in the comic books now, but yes, he worked for Shield.
If he's the fourth one, who's the third one?
I don't know.
Okay, who cares?
I only thought there were 3. I didn't know there were 4.
Yeah, so he was the fourth. Unless the internet has lied to me.
No, the
he's
internet never lies. Believe everything you hear on it.
No, he's the fourth though.
Okay. Oh, Derek's got his Marvel encyclopedia.
All right. Well, while you're looking it up, we can go with my last movie fact. So the ending was supposed to have a showdown between Ant-Man and Carson. Carson, the one who picked up the stolen sample of the Pym particles.
Mm-hmm.
But they changed it so that Carson will actually escape with them. And I guess he was going to show up in Civil War, but Civil War didn't have anything about that, though, did they?
No, it didn't.
So I guess they changed their mind. But anyways, he got away at the end because they decided to use it again, but didn't.
But so they can in the future. They can use it.
Yeah, but...
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because that means
guess
it's with Hydra. That means Hydra has it.
Yeah. I did not like the fact that they threw Hydra in there. I feel like that was something that they could have left out.
Yeah. I mean, I could take it or leave it. It didn't matter to me.
It was so odd. He's like, oh, yeah, he's Hydra. And I'm like, well, that was a forced line. I didn't like it. Derek, did you find your thing, or should we move on to nitpicks?
I guess the internet was wrong. He's listed as number 3.
See? Internet be lying.
What?
Yep, he's listed as number 3. Ant-Man is number 2.
I'll never trust anyone ever again.
And Eric O'Grady was an agent of Shield.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go on about, can we save the shrinking thing for last?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My first nitpick. So that guy Frank, who when they first do the Yellow Jacket presentation, and he gets turned into a pile of goo by Darren Cross.
Yeah.
Is no one about to miss Frank? Like, he's an important guy, right? Like, he goes to the bathroom and never comes out. Is no one questioning it?
Nobody's going to notice that. That's a good point. I didn't even realize that then.
Like, this guy's like the head of world security, and he just never returns.
My nitpick about that scene was, why was he trying to fix this shrinking tech? You have a gun that turns people into goo. Like, why don't you just sell that as a weapon?
That's a good point. Like, I don't need to shrink you if I can turn people into jelly.
Yeah, why do we need this shrinky thing? Just shoot people into jelly goo. Like,
you're right.
The jelly goo gun.
You don't even do that. Oh, so smart.
I don't think that will sell well on the market, but yeah.
You don't think it will? You don't think if you want to murder somebody and it leaves no trail but the fact that they're just a piece of goo on the ground, you don't think people would buy it?
Think about it, like, even like a gun is like, I gotta hit you in the chest or in the head. This one, I can shoot you in the leg and you're still jelly.
Yep.
That's perfect.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm. All right. My next nitpick. When Scott is in jail and the ants show up and they start the 10-second countdown,
how do you get the suit on?
Cannot get that suit on.
Right. Not in 10 seconds.
Not in 10 seconds. I literally was tempted to try to see how fast I can get dressed.
You cannot get dressed in 10 seconds.
You can get dressed in 10 seconds.
Interesting.
And it's a complicated suit.
So did you set the clothes out and then press the timer and then like...
You can't do it.
By the time you put the timer on and put one leg in the pants, 10 seconds is over.
I don't know if I'm that slow, but...
Yeah, dude. Oh, what you doing, dude? He's like, it was this leg. It was the other leg. I mean, he is old, man. It's all right.
That's true. Okay. My next nitpick. All right, so when they're saying that he has to go inside the water main, right? So they got to turn the water pressure down. Mm-hmm. He hopped inside of a storm drain to get to the water main. How'd that work? They're not connected. Like, they're really not connected.
Engineers, okay.
You would know.
It's just, I'm like, so you hop through a catch basin to get to the water main? How?
I don't know. Only you notice. Only, like, that's one of those things where, like, a doctor watching a doctor TV show. Like, it's, like, nobody else is going to notice that.
I understand. Why didn't he just go through a water valve in the yard? Isn't that easier?
Just pretend that's what he did.
No, I'm just saying.
He went into the water bath.
Okay. But they didn't, though. I'm just trying to figure out how he ended up in that water, that sewer.
They crawled over. I don't know.
But you know how far apart they have to be?
No,
he had to do some digging. 10 feet of horizontal space.
All right.
So that's
and that is
digging.
And that is our engineering news from Darwin.
Or if it was vertical, 18 inches. Still not chump change. I'm just saying.
I got you. Again, that's like, professionals watching a movie about their profession is never going to work. So I understand your nitpick, but like literally no one else but other civil engineers noticed that.
I noticed. True. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think of ways they could do it, but I'm like, no, you shouldn't do that. That's just bad. Just, okay. Whatever. All right. Now we can talk about the shrinking issues in this movie.
Okay. Well, no, didn't you have a problem with the ants? You said...
about the ants.
No, earlier on you were saying there was some issue with... You didn't think the ants could do some of the stuff they were doing.
Oh, no. I was saying I thought he could do the heist without Scott. And he could just use the ants.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, shrinking. All right, so they said in the movie, here's what they said, that you shrink things down, but they retain their mass. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, that means Tommy the Tank Engine shouldn't be able to break through the house because it still has the mass as a toy. Also, it would be floating because it still has the mass of a toy.
That is on my... I literally wrote that down like, wait a minute. So, even when it's bigger, it is still lightweight because it still only weighs, an ounce.
Yeah.
Which we already proved when he ran into Yellow Jacket and fell over. So just because it's bigger, it is still light. But then they did the same thing with the stupid tank. He's walking around with a tank on a keychain.
Yeah. If it retains his mass, that means he's carrying a tank. He's carrying a tank around. However much tanks weigh.
It makes no sense.
0 cents. And then how do you get a keychain attached to it? That's what I want to know.
Like...
Makes no sense at all. Also, the in that scene when we're talking about Thomas the Tank Engine hitting him and falling off, while it was funny, in that same scene he got hit by a block and it knocked him over. If the block retains its same mass, it should have fell over the same way Thomas the Tank Engine did when it hit him, but it didn't.
Or how about when Scott fell on the ground, it cracked the tile. Mm-hmm. Although when he fell through the floor and hit all of those pipes, they didn't get damaged. So which one is it? Is he just as heavy or is he not heavy at all?
Yeah, see, it's so wishy-washy in this movie. Scott, when he punches people, to be honest, with him being that small and he having the strength of a regular person, he would just go through them, which I get is kind of grim for Marvel. But...
that with movie science saying that he can decide either it's too hard and he can kill them or too light and it's like nothing. So they did movie science that. But
Yep. They were just inconsistent. They're all over the place with it. Some things, nope.
Didn't make any sense. Look, I mean, if you're going to allow me to believe a guy can get bigger or smaller, but what about everything else? Just...
Yep. They should have never... No, they just should have never said that it retains its mass when it gets bigger or smaller.
That's true.
If they never said that, then none of this stuff is a problem.
But since it retains its mass...
I don't know. It's like that with superheroes all the time, though. It's like with Superman, when people punch them, their hand breaks, but then they can throw a gun at them. How come the gun doesn't break? It bounces off.
A gun is stronger than your hand.
So.
But if Superman is strong, though, I'm telling you right now, if you take a gun and you throw it against, like, let's say a brick building or something, it's going to break or crack.
Maybe. I don't know. Okay. I don't know. That's not as much of an inconsistency,
I'm just saying. I'm just putting together, y'all nitpick. I'm just like, with superhero movies, there's always inconsistencies when it comes to that.
Yeah, but this is a
Even
huge.
in cartoons.
We're talking about people who walking around with tanks in their pockets. That's like,
I don't want them to change it because everything they did looked really cool and it was fun to watch. It's just that you set a precedent in your movie. You didn't follow it.
And then didn't follow it. Yeah.
yeah,
I get it.
I didn't understand what mass meant or something.
No, yeah. Well, probably not. All right. That was it. That was my problem with the science. That's all.
That's true. That was my last nitpick.
All right. Cool. So is it time to rate it?
Movie quotes.
Oh,
Movie
movie
quotes.
quotes. Yes.
So I had 3. Anything by Luis, obviously. When he said, I think our first move should be calling the Avengers. Yes, It should always be your first move. Because I always be like, why not just call the Avengers?
I wanted to talk about that. Actually, I feel like in that scene, Hank Pym had a point. Like, it made sense that he didn't want to go there. Because if we consider Age of Ultron, like, you can't trust Tony Stark with, like, these type of technologies, right?
Even though obviously you can't trust Hank Pym either.
No, you can't. but this is Hank Pym, so. But yeah, you can't trust Tony Stark. He made a murder robot. He can't help himself. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah. At least they had an explanation this time. And then my last one was after that ant got turned big and the cop was like, that's one messed up looking dog.
Yeah, that was funny. T.I. with well, one could say, I let you let me. Or back it up.
Mine was also the one when they were in the van and he was like, freeze. And he was like, okay, wait a minute. There's a black guy that looks exactly like me who attacked us and put us in the back of this disgusting van.
Yeah, that was funny. Paul Rudd had some good ones too.
Louise is funny. So he said to the other guy.
Yeah, that entire scene, his stories.
Oh yeah, that's what I said. Anything about him was hilarious.
Oh no! Best line when he first picked him up, and he was like, "Oh, how's your girlfriend?" He's like, "Oh, she dumped me, and my mom died, and my dad got deported. I got the van though." It's like, what? So yeah, that was good. Michael Pena was excellent in this movie. All right, so is it time to rate Ant-Man?
Yes.
I would say watch while folding clothes.
I would agree.
I would agree as well.
Okay, we're going to say Dan is going to say watch while folding clothes because I think we lost Dan. So, yeah. That's a watch while folding clothes by 3D. Do we rank every movie watch while folding clothes?
No, we had a couple of I will pay for that recently.
Okay, most of our movies is watch while folding clothes.
Yeah, most of our movies as well.
Like Phase 2 of the MCU, which is not the best phase.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't had pure torture in a while.
No, we haven't.
We haven't. That's
Maybe
true.
that'll be next week's movie.
Nope.
I don't know if I feel like being tortured.
What's the next week's movie?
I don't know yet.
We don't know yet. I mean, we plan these things well in advance. Don't worry, guys. We're definitely on top of these things. All right, so Ant-Man.
Missing the movies.
Ant-Man is a watch while folding clothes. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. Where have you been? Watch the Marvel movies. They're great. You should do it. Other than that, you can catch us anywhere. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you subscribe, follow, leave a comment wherever you're listening, because we're wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you want to reach out to us, you can. We are on Facebook, facebook.com/3drivals, Gmail's 3drivals@gmail.com. We're at Twitter @3_rivals. And also, we are on Twitch, which, we'll be doing live shows here and there. So you can catch us there. Twitch is twitch.com/3 3D rivals. Other than that, again, thank you so much for listening, guys. We appreciate it. Peace out.